Hello, everyone. I'm Gorilla Monsoon.
And I'm your host, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, why don't you be serious? You're not the host, Brain.
Well, I should be.
Chris DiFrancesco is the host.
Chris DiFrancesco?
Yes, that's correct. I didn't stutter.
Didn't he get whacked in an episode of The Sopranos?
Oh, give me a break. He hosts a podcast, Brain.
Who the hell doesn't?
Well, his is about wrestling.
Who the hell's isn't?
He talks about old wrestling.
Wow! What a novel idea.
Oh, give me a break.
Next, you're going to tell me he's got a wrestling-themed name for the show?
Well,
Come on, Monsoon, spit it out.
it's the Hot Tag Wrestling Podcast.
So what?
And it's starting now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hot Tag Wrestling Show. I am Chris DiFrancesco. George the Animal Rogers is with me. It is WrestleMania weekend, and it's already here. I can't believe it. I mean, realistically, over the last 35 WrestleManias that I can remember, it was already happened by a month by now.
It's already happened by now, and we're prepping for Backlash.
We would have already had a Backlash by now.
Yeah, Backlash would have already came and gone at this point.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, look, regardless, and George and I agree, regardless of how, for lack of a better term, weak the cards look, it's still WrestleMania weekend. You never know what can happen. So many things can occur at WrestleMania. You just never know. It's why you got to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Looking at night 1 and night 2, just to give everybody an update. This is of course the final words of Dave Meltzer and every dirt sheet writer.
Oh well, shit! If it's the final words from Dave Meltzer, then don't shit! It's there, man. This is it. This is the final card. No changes will be made ever.
What I was going to say is this is not from a dirt sheet writer, but of course, card is subject to change. That should be the famous last words for every every dirt sheet writer. But night 1, we already pretty much have heard from multiple different sources that Gunther and Jey Uso will kick off night 1 for the World Heavyweight title. War Raiders versus I cannot believe the New Day are on WrestleMania over the Street Profits, but whatever.
Street Profits on SmackDown. You take that up with General Manager Nick Aldis.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes, look, Triple H is a really good booker, but sometimes he just has some doozies, and
they may still add a SmackDown Tag Team title match.
I hope.
Because the Street Profits are the tag champions right now. So
I know. I'm hoping this is the last appearance ever for the New Day. I can't take it anymore. Both of these teams, Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable, or I'm sorry, El Grande.
Excuse me,
Americano.
El Grande Americano. Can you listen? I don't know if you knew this. El Grande Americano is the nephew of Uno from Los Conquistadors.
Oh my goodness. How about that?
See, it all comes back.
And then probably a nominee for the worst match of the weekend. I'm so sorry. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Whatever. Tiffany
that could be a banger because I love a little Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, that dude's a machine. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair could be really good. We'll see. And then I think there's going to be some potatoes thrown in that match. There will be. And then the main event of night 1 on Saturday is Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. This is actually the match that I'm looking forward to the most. Look, I think it was one of those hodgepodges. It sucks that this is the match that they've came up with all 3 of these guys. Because it seems like what they've made the center focus of this whole thing is Paul Heyman. So it's a shame that nobody really cares about the participants. I think most fans care about, well, what's Paul Heyman going to do? So you'll be watching for that. I want to give also a quick golf clap because I don't want to clap on a podcast. That entire program, and I know George, you might actually agree. This entire program has been a pure showcase for what Seth Rollins is really capable of. He has been the star of this program by light years, in my opinion.
All these guys.
Yeah. So, and I think, Seth Rollins, you saw some good, architect type Seth Rollins in this program. And I really like that. I really hope one, I hope he gets the win. I think he deserves it. Two, I hope he acts like this moving forward because he has really, and I think working with CM Punk, George, has really elevated and maybe even what's the word I'm looking for? It elevated Punk, and maybe it also ignited his promo ability to get better. And
I think it gave Rollins maybe the shot of adrenaline that his career needs right now.
I agree.
Because even when he was the world heavyweight champion, when he won that, inaugurally, it's like, yeah, he's the champ, but I feel like there could be more with him.
I agree.
And that's where I was getting kind of bothering. He was coming out with the flowy bullshit and cackling. It's like in by fucking December, I was like, dude, I can't take this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we get something else aside from this. Like, I'm tired of seeing you dressed like Becky Lynch. Like,
yeah.
You're just married to her. You guys don't share clothes.
I was already done with Becky Lynch, so please don't continue that process. Night 2, Io Sky versus Bianca and Rhea, which might be my favorite match of the entire weekend.
That could be match of the weekend.
Yeah. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Valkyra. That should be a really good one as well.
Bayley is so fucking good.
Dude, and she's better than ever.
And here's the thing, and this is the major difference between her and somebody like Charlotte. And I'm using Charlotte as a template because of the 4 horsewoman nonsense and like that gimmick that they brought up and never actually really did anything with, but use them as the temple to build off of. Charlotte, I think, does not fit in with this group of with this talent on the roster. She feels like an outlier for the things that we always talk about. She's extremely formulaic in her matches. Everything is rehearsed to a T, and she is too much stuck. She's like Rick. She can only wrestle one way.
I agree. That's the best point I've heard yet.
Bayley, she works well with everybody. She mentors these girls in NXT and the ones that come up to the main roster. She works well with all of them. She can adapt to their style, and it works. Like, Bayley works so fucking well. I think when all is said and done, Bayley might be like the greatest women's wrestler.
I think I really do think I think she's going to be looked at, especially internally, as the greatest of all time. Let me just compare her. And I want you to take the last 3 years out of the question, George, because I know it'll really bother you.
I think I know where you're going to go with this, but yeah.
My immediate comparison of Bayley over the last decade is to that of Chris Jericho, where it doesn't matter what era she's in, she adapts and she changes and she does it flawlessly. And before AEW, Chris Jericho, dude, that guy, man, he would evolve all the time and it always worked. He was never stagnant. He was never the same. Even when he was going to Japan and having those bangers with Kenny Omega, he went to the Painmaker. He changed. Do you look at Bayley almost in the same way where it doesn't matter what era that they put her in or what program, she makes it work and she will alternate her character every time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Jericho. I thought you were going to make a Brett comparison because Brett will have as we always say, Brett will have a great match with the broom.
I agree. So yeah, that's a great comparison too.
I mean, we said the final 3 years, he's talking about the WCW run, but Brett had some great matches in WCW as well, and Brett could work well with everybody. He could work with the big guys. He could work with guys like Taker. He could work with guys like Shawn who had a different style. He could work well with the luchadors. Yep. And the cruiserweights, Brett would have a great match with everybody, and he never felt out of place.
Right.
I could watch Bret Hart versus Juventud Guerrera, and I'm no, this makes sense. This works because it's Brett, and he'll work well with everybody. But yeah, Jericho, I think that's probably is the better comparison because Jericho, before he decided to go phone it in elsewhere, could really adapt with the style and kind of had his finger on the pulse of what the crowd wanted and where to go from there.
Yep.
And this team, her and Lyra Valkyria, you know what? I'm here for it.
I agree too.
I really like Lyra Valkyria. I think she's really good. They need to. I mean, they added a belt, but please do something with it. I know she's the women's intercontinental title, intercontinental champion, but I need some feuds, man. I need some mid card ladies feuds.
I'm telling you right now. I think Bayley. You can even consider her like the evolution type Triple H. I mean, look at her. Io Sky, Dakota Kai. Now they're putting her with Valkyria to put her over and elevate her game. I think they're just doing such a great job with they're putting Bayley with whoever they really want to elevate, and she just elevates all of them.
I feel like Bayley is filling the role that they were hoping Natalya would do.
I 100% agree with you. I think that's spot on.
I mean no disrespect to I mean no disrespect at all to Natty.
Yeah.
I mean, I love her. I think she's also just amazing in the ring.
Yeah.
But problem is she was on the tail end of a really bad era. And I feel like she can't shake that stigma.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Then you got, which also could be a banger, man. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I wonder if this is the last WrestleMania for AJ.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I know it's been floated around. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. I am crossing my fingers and hoping this is the night where Dom gets that strat.
Yo, give him the fucking IC title.
Let him run.
Yeah, man.
Let him run with it.
Let him have it, and then let like Braun chase him all over Vegas trying to get it, and then just spearing everything that's in his way.
Oh, John, dude, AJ is like. I would have kept AJ in the title picture for the last 4 years.
Did you see?
So good.
Did you see his match with Karrion Kross from Raw? Oh my God, that was so good for both guys. It's like that. It's like that match there is exactly what Karrion Kross needs to be like. Hey, I'm more than just fucking around backstage. I mean, I love what he's doing backstage. The devil on your shoulder kind of thing. The thing that they were going to give Sean O'Haire before they just decided done.
Yeah,
and it works now, and Karrion Kross is the right guy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But did you also see that somebody said, "Oh, like, I bet you're upset about being left off of WrestleMania"?
Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, but I get to wake up next to Scarlett Bordeaux every morning."
He's doing just fine.
This man is the real winner for WrestleMania weekend and every weekend.
And then here's another match, which I think could be a banger, man, is Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
That's going to be hard hitting. That's going to be nasty.
That's going to be a physical one, yeah. And then the main event of the entire company. This is truly, and I believe this, from a WrestleMania standpoint, this is a once-in-a-lifetime match that we're getting here. Not twice with Dwayne, but this is truly once in a lifetime and what we're getting here from a WrestleMania main event standpoint. Cody Rhodes coming in as the WWE undisputed champion for well over a year now, going up against the one and only John Cena, the greatest of all time. Look, before we get into our Monday Night Wars, we're going to wrap this part up with talking about this main event and kind of predict how this is going to go. There's somebody watching right now that's commenting. We just talked on on my sister show, Ring the Bell, and he brought up a really good point on the air and about how the finish could go. And I never thought of it. I don't know why, but I think that's the way it actually could be. But first, I'm going to ask you, George, how do you see this main event going down? Oh, I think we lost George that whole entire time.
Wait, all right. I think I'm back. That's
I got
weird.
you. Yeah, that hasn't happened in years.
No, we're having issues with the fucking Xfinity every now and then.
Oh, good. So. Did you hear what my question?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so my question was, and somebody's in the comments now who on our sister show, Ring the Bell, we talked about how the finish of this match is going to go, and I never thought about his idea, what John brought up, and I wanted to, before bring it up to you, before I say it, I want to ask you, how do you see this main event breaking down?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a clean win for either guy.
Okay.
If we're on my honest opinion, I think there's going to be some fuckery involved, but that's kind of what you expect in a match. Some gaga, but not any of that Bruce Pritchard Brother Love kind of gaga. Like Like maybe a little bit that makes sense. Like maybe The Rock has like a contingency plan to make sure John leaves with that title.
Yep.
So I've seen some stuff where people have floated around the possibility that Jey Uso is like The Rock's, like, I guess, ace in the hole, but I don't like that because I still don't think unfortunately, like a lot of people, don't look at Jey Uso as a main event guy. Unfortunately,
I'm with you.
So I don't think that's the thing, but I also don't think The Rock gets involved himself. I think The Rock does have a backup plan to make sure Cena leaves. I just don't know what it is because I don't know what it can be. I don't want to say like, like like a lost fucking Anoa'i member that no one's ever heard of. I don't think it's just gonna like pop in like, oh, he's Lance Anoa'i from MLW. Like I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be someone who just happens to be like backstage that may help out. But I don't really have a solid concrete thought on it because I can't picture anything that makes sense in my mind.
So, John, if you can put your prediction in the comment, and I'll post it. Just make it as quick as you can. So I feel like Cena wins, and I do feel like it happens because I think it's not a clean way. I believe there's going to be a point where The Rock restarts the match, and you get a restart because he's the final boss. You get a restart of the match, and somehow John Cena obviously comes in with the victory. But I think you're right. I think it's going to be a Gaga finish, maybe like a Pat Patterson type special. And I think John Cena gets the 17th world title.
So are you predicting something like a Starrcade 97 except done better?
Done. Yes. Done the way it's supposed to go down.
Like maybe Little Nate is on The Rock's payroll.
Oh, that's yeah.
I was thinking
because I think
it.
Little Nate maybe does something. Okay, so John says his idea was Cody gets a quick roll up, and The Rock says you can't win that way in the main event, and he restarts the match. I wonder if because it's Cena trying to win number 17, Little Nate does something of a fast count.
Maybe.
And the match gets restarted.
Possibly, or maybe he counts and The Rock goes, no. That seemed a little too fast for me.
That could be something. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a clean finish.
Or how about this? Like somewhere in the match, Cena goes out and grabs a chair and cracks Cody with it, and then they call for the bell, and The Rock is like, no, this is for the title, no disqualifications, restart the fucking match.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be shit like that, or like other ways where like Cody hits the crossroads, and then Brock's just like, nah, that move is banned in this match. Try another.
Can we both agree that we both don't want this match to be a convoluted mess like last year?
I do not need 500 run-ins.
I agree, man.
That it's been done.
I really think that hurt Cody's win. New. I think I really wish last year would have just been a clean finish.
I just had a thought.
Go ahead.
Towards the end of the match, whoever the ref is, whether it's Charles Robinson or somebody who doesn't deserve that spot, gets knocked out. And The Rock reveals that he's wearing a referee shirt underneath.
Oh.
Or he's wearing like one of his like final boss vests and just flips it inside out and it has ref stripes on it.
I could definitely see that. You think Austin gets involved at all? He's there.
I don't think it needs Austin. That's the thing.
I agree, but last year didn't need The Rock and Cena and
here's the thing. It didn't, but at the same time, a lot of those, with the exception of Taker, because I mean, I know that was a last minute thing because Austin was doing Austin things, but like the Usos coming out, like that made sense. Jimmy comes out, Jay takes him out. Boom, there's a feud there. Solo comes out, then Cena comes out and takes out Solo. That goes back to that previous Survivor Series where Solo beat John Cena and like took him out of action. So that makes sense. Then boom, Rock comes down, Rock Cena thrice in a lifetime. That makes sense. So like that stuff was kind of woven in pretty well and it worked and made sense long-term wise. Austin showing up now to take out Rock, it's like, where were you last year?
Can we also agree that we don't want to see one single appearance from Travis Scott?
I do not need to see one single appearance from Travis Scott, but he did the fucking theme song. He's gonna show up either way. I don't understand. I mean, I get it. You're spreading the brand. WWE right now is probably bigger than it's been in a very long time, maybe even bigger than it's ever been. And you got a far reach, and celebrities always want to be a part of it. I do not need to see them at every event.
Agreed.
Unless you're a massive star, I don't want to fucking see you. I don't care if you're the PBR Rodeo Champion of 2024. I didn't even know they fucking televised shit like that. Like, I don't care. It doesn't. I mean, I'm sure some fucking sheep fucker down in the South is probably looking at it like, oh, yeehaw! There's a rodeo. There's my rodeo hero. But no, he's busy crying on fucking Twitter when someone makes fun of the company he works for. But it's like, I don't need to see any of these fucking celebrities. Macaulay Culkin notwithstanding, because that dude gets a fucking pop when they show him, because he knows how to play to the crowd. But like, I don't need this. I don't need to see fucking half-ass, barely funny comedians. I don't need to see champions I never fucking heard of from sports I didn't even know were televised. Like, I'm done. Either show me an A-lister or don't bother me.
The Miz?
Oh, the real A-lister. I know you hate The Miz, but you know what? I fucking love him.
No, I love The Miz if they would just turn him into a manager.
The dude has had a long career. He has the second longest in-ring career in WWE by 1 year, and it's Taker. Taker was a main event, was a full-time roster member for 20 years continuously. Miz is at 19 right now.
Wow.
That's insane when you think about it.
So you're not counting Shawn because he was always under contract.
Always, yeah, but he wasn't a full-time performer from 98 to 2002.
Right. Okay. So you take 3 years out of that, then it's, if you count that, then he's 88 through 2010.
Yeah, but that's what I said, like, continuous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good point.
We ain't even getting on them. I am gonna laugh at them for thinking that beating Nitro's episode count is a milestone because you have
they said
their popularity.
No, they said that they're the longest running wrestling program on Turner Network, and I'm thinking, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
WCW Saturday Night went on for like 15 years.
But that in turn, but even WCW Saturday Night, that stems back from when it was Georgia Championship Wrestling. So that goes back to 72. So that's 40 years.
Yeah, you're right.
So right there, it does make. That's why they had to amend it to saying prime time. It's like, oh, all right, goalposts, get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Like you're beating your chest over beating a company that's been out of business for 24 years.
Yeah.
That's like bragging about having more sales in Circuit City.
All right, so let's get to why we are here. We are continuing the rest of March here. We're almost done with March, covering the Monday Night Wars. This week we are at March 18th, 1996. Oh man, this Nitro was not good. So we're going to start with Monday Nitro. They are live from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
This was brought to you by the letter S for sucks. You're welcome.
Your hosts are Eric Bischoff, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Steve Mongo McMichael. We pick the show up with Giant engaged in a brawl with Loch Ness in the aisle, while Lex Luger casually walks by and does his usual entrance.
Main event anywhere. It's so wild. Like, the pyro is still going off and everything. Where's Doug Dillinger to break up this fight?
I know. So we get the opener, I guess, of a match is the World TV title here, Lex Luger versus Loch Ness. Sadly, Loch Ness has been, I guess, beaten to a pulp by the Giant. He's unable to answer the count. Jimmy Hart runs in for a hug, and Luger quickly pushes him away. after breaking kayfabe, basically. Luger is just so excited that he runs over the announce desk and high fives Bobby, yelling, "I'm peaking at just the right time." I'm guessing he was talking about his cycle before it ends. He has to about a month or two off. It's really sad that they wasted him in the uncensored main event nonsense because realistically, though, when you look at the crowd too and the reactions, Luger was hot at this time. And so, George, man, at this point, what the hell is Luger doing even remotely connected to a Loch Ness match opening up Nitro?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they were going to try and give him some sort of TV title defense.
Yeah.
I guess to prep him for his Doomsday Cage match that for some reason he's in that no one ever explained.
Yep.
They just added him in. Also, they don't mention that Ming and Barbarian are in that match also.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
I know.
Spoiler alert for the rest of the show. It's never mentioned.
Next up, we have Tony Schiavone returning from the dead to interview the Mega Powers. And dude, holy crap. Like, they're basically begging for a cease and desist at this point. I mean, Macho is even wearing Mega Powers on his gear. The balls on these dudes. They're still hyping up the Doomsday Cage without ever explaining how it works or who was even in it at this point. Dude, like, what a cluster F this show is, and we're 10 minutes in.
This is the same promo they've been cutting for a month.
I know.
It's the same bullshit day after or like week after week. It's insane. This isn't bringing any new intrigue to the match. It's been a recycling nonsense. It's like Vince McMahon is booking this, honestly, because we know how much he loves rematches on fucking TV.
Yes.
How many times through the Ruthless Aggression PG era was it just rematch after rematch after rematch? That's fucking all it was. That's basically what we're getting now with this shit.
Oh, like, yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. Like, I need more. Like, there's no stakes. Nothing makes me think that Hogan and Mach are going to lose this match. Nothing has made me think that.
No. Well, I mean, Hogan in the match. So it's not...
to the fact that I've seen the script and I know how this is going to play out also, but it's like, well, this guy.
Next up, we have the Public Enemy versus the Steiners. My favorite part of this is Eric Bischoff literally promised that this is going to be one of the most crazy brawls at the beginning of this match. And we got a standard tag team wrestling match.
I didn't see anything crazy. The only crazy thing I saw was the Steiner brothers stooping themselves down to have a match with trash time heroes.
Yeah, that's basically what that was. Yeah, look, I'm pretty sure...
Rocco Rock completely missed that moonsault. Did you even notice that?
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, moonsault. I'm like, his face hit Scott Steiner in the chest. His face would break on that chest.
This is one of these things where, like, it can't be a crazy match because, one, Public Enemy would most certainly mess something up, and then the Steiners would just kill them. So it's one of those things like, we're just going to wrestle your match, Steiner, so we can get on out of your way.
Do you want to go off book when Scott Steiner's in the ring?
No. Nope.
Freakzilla is going to make an example out of you.
That's right. Yep.
Holler if you hear him.
Yep. This match did go 7 minutes. Steiner's finished grunge with that top rope bulldog.
I love that top rope.
Me too.
Bulldog.
I'm a big fan of that. Then we get to the next one, the one that really made George's night just as great as it possibly could be.
It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Don't lie. It was so bad that you had to text me about it.
I almost broke my TV.
I'm sure you did. Here we are, the Booty Man going up against Arn frickin' Anderson. Why, George, is this ever okay to put on live television?
Know what they should have done instead? Anything else. Where's Eddie Guerrero? Has anyone seen Eddie Guerrero? Does anybody know where Eddie Guerrero is? Is he still employed with this company?
Oh, I have no idea.
How about Dean Malenko? He's floating around, right? You couldn't just give me but you couldn't just give me, like, I don't know, Bobby Heenan pulling his pud in the middle of the fucking ring for however long this thing was, because this is shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching the Booty Man and Arn Anderson. Like, first of all, fuck.
I think we lost George again. I think we lost him. Are you still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hit the.
Okay.
I hit the mute button. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because I moved my arm down and the thing was there. But like, it's like Ed Leslie is terrible. Like, dude, your time is like he is like Charlotte Flair. Like now, he doesn't fit into this.
He just does not.
It doesn't work. And Arn, he's trying his best to get a good fucking match. And then, here comes Kimberly Page again. Yep. I don't know what's going on here.
Nope.
Because now Booty Man and DDP are having a match uncensored for the services of Kimberly, which DDP didn't have anyway because he lost it to Johnny B. Bad.
Did you enjoy the hiney?
Make it make sense and no, fuck you.
You didn't enjoy the hiney finisher? The hiney?
Why was that a clean win? That's my problem.
Yeah, that's look, I hate all the nonstop, brouhaha finishes in WCW, but this one needed it.
You want to give me like you want to give this match, fine, but take out Arn Anderson and put in Kevin Sullivan, because at least you have the background of the fact that Brother Brutai was the quote unquote mole in the Dungeon of Doom. You could play that horse shit up and try to use that as something, but that's something. Of course, then we would have got the Mega Powers versus the Horsemen again for the 6th time since February. That's
right.
But it's just, like you said, this is where we needed like a bullshit finish.
That's what I felt.
I've seen Kimberly on Nitro more than Diamond Dallas Page.
Isn't that wild? Like, you saying that, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? You're absolutely right.
This is the 3rd week in a row that we've seen Kimberly. We've seen DDP on Nitro, I think, once since we've started doing the Monday Night Wars.
Man.
And that was in September of 95, and we're in March of 96.
God, that's so crazy to me. It really is.
We've seen her 3 times. We have seen him once. And she is just a ballet.
Yeah. That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to the next match here. We have the Road Warriors versus the Nasty Boys, and you guys witnessed that have watched this. 4 guys that are blown up at the same time. It was something to watch, boy.
Did you notice how sweaty Brian Knobbs was like after 3 minutes?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die in the middle of the ring. I really did. I'm like, did somebody turn the heat up in the arena, or is he just gassed?
He's got all the telltale signs of a heart attack. Like
he does. But yeah, boy, man, this was something else. It really was. Like you get to the end, Animal hits Knobs with a gauntlet and pins him at 7 minutes. It was just a huge mess, dude. Like, just bad. And there was a rumor at this time that apparently the Nasty Boys were almost fired for budget reasons at this point. As they probably, WCW needed money to justify the upcoming contracts of Hall and Nash. So, it would have been a win-win, but they're still around.
But
this was
much longer.
I know.
Because Bags, I think, goes to like a little mini retirement.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And then Knobbs is a singles wrestler, which I completely forgot he even was in the First Family, which I forgot the First Family existed.
Yeah, I mean, you get a nice little run in here from the Steiners, but it really just doesn't matter. Like, it's just all 4 were so gassed that at that point I wouldn't even set the Steiners out, but it is what it is. But let's get to the main event, the match that we pretty much have seen the last 1900 weeks. Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage versus Kevin Sullivan and Ric Flair. I don't even know. Like, it's like my favorite thing about this match was hearing Mongo. and he said, if you like a good public someone getting a beat down like a dog, you'll like this match. Actual things said by people on live TV. He got paid to say these things.
Listen, he's not he's not the genius. He's not Leaping Lanny Poffo. He's not going to come out with his mortarboard and go and give us a soliloquy. He's not going to give us that.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of this match was Brian Pillman randomly showing up and then never being seen again on WWE.
And I told you why. I'm telling you, dude, I watched that over again, and he was laying in stiff shots to Hulk Hogan. And I'm like, brother, you're about to get brothered hard.
And Mach too.
He was laying it in the Mach.
Because Mach started swinging back hard.
Yep.
And Hogan's just going to take it like, don't hit me.
And according to the Observer, this is a Texas Tornado match that was originally booked to be Flair versus Sting for the world title before Hogan stepped in and changed it. So that was
plans changed.
Originally. Yeah, plans changed, pal.
Mabel's the third man.
Pillman comes out of the audience throwing chairs, and they call for a DQ at 10 minutes of 30 seconds because, reasons. Hogan, as the booker, saw that Pillman's act was getting over and basically demanded that he made part of the main event deal, thus killing Pillman's whole gimmick. Because Pillman took it a little bit too far. We never saw him again.
Brilliant on Brian Pillman to avoid getting brothered.
Yeah, right. Hogan and Savage managed to fight off the Horsemen alone, but then Jimmy Hart brings out Flabby Gut Zeus and Jeep Swenson, is literally made up like a walrus. And that somehow turns the tide. Best of all, Swenson was named the final solution, which passed through multiple layers of approval before somebody realized that we might offend some people with this.
Yeah, you know who found out? Fucking Turner Networks. Because they didn't know that that's what he was going to be named. They didn't find out until Nitro aired that they called this guy the final solution. And they were like, yo, you do know that's what the fucking Holocaust was, right? And everyone in WCW was like, huh? Because nobody WCW ever took 10th grade history.
It was, this Hogan stuff, bro. Holy Jeebus, man. Like, I'm still astonished that one company could change direction so drastically within a couple of months and suddenly change forever. Like, people, I just want to let everybody realize we're 2 months away. We're less than 2 months away from the foundation of wrestling changing forever. And on March 18th, this is the kind of stuff we were getting.
We're only a few weeks away from Scott Hall.
That's May, right? May.
Yeah, we're in March. I'm sorry. I thought we were like right now in April. Okay.
No, so that's what I mean. Oh, in real life, we're less than a month away.
Yeah.
And we're covering the show like in a snap of a finger. Nitro changes completely. But just to give everybody an update why we are doing this whole, retro look back. On March 18th, which is less than 2 months before Scott Hall arrives, this is what we get every single week. And it's bad. Just bad. All right. So let's go over to Monday Night Raw and see what we got going on over here. We're on the road to WrestleMania 12, which we covered if you look in the archives from a couple weeks ago. We are a taped show this week, Monday Night Raw from San Antonio, Texas. Your hosts are Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler. The opener, it's a barn burner, baby. The British Bulldog versus Jake the Snake Roberts. I honestly, and look, I'll always rip both companies when we're doing this. How can the WWF seriously gripe about washed up stars like Hogan and Savage while putting these two 80s relics out there as new generation stars? Honestly.
Bulldog he's doing a singles thing. But Jake.
Yeah.
Better than doing Ahmed and British Bulldog. So at least we didn't get that.
And, during the match, Vince bitches about the latest Mike Tyson boxing match only going 8 minutes on pay-per-view and how boring that is. You're right, Vince. Who would want to watch spectacular knockouts in a boxing match when you can watch Jake the Snake Roberts and British Bulldog? Whatever. Uh, we get a win here from Jake at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Jake was just doesn't look good, man. Lawler hypes up a match he's having on Superstars this weekend, which turned out to be him squashing a jobber while doing his own commentary, which is pretty hilarious if you ask me. Dude, this has to like effectively just kill, no pun intended, British Bulldog here to lose to Jake at this point.
I mean, you would think so,
right? You would think,
like you would think so, but as bad as this was, and it was bad. The only thing I can really say was how the crowd would come alive when Jake would set up for the DDT.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like good, kind of getting the crowd like up and then down when like every time Bulldog got out of it, because it did make the pop that much better when Jake finally does land it. Like I get it, but it's just like I'm looking at barely mobile Jake Roberts trying to wrestle semi-mobile Davey Boy Smith.
Right.
Right. It was just bad. I mean, it wasn't good. I mean, I get it. We got a match coming up at the pay-per-view. So it's like, it wasn't good, but better than Lex Luger versus nobody. So I guess there's that.
Good point. Very good point. All right. So meanwhile, Brett and Sean continue their respective training. Brett feels like he's a better role model, but man, you can really see the seeds of that heel turn planted in this program, man.
It's like he knew. It's like he knew then. He's like, we're gonna go a little dark here. So
yeah. Goldust versus Fatu. I recall Bischoff burying this Raw on Nitro, if I remember. Come to think of it, Goldust is wearing a kilt in honor of Piper. Fatu attacks him and pounds away. We get the curtain call finish at 4 minutes and 35 seconds. The announcers like totally ignored the match while talking with Piper on the phone. Nothing. It's just meaningless. It just pushes the storyline further to get Piper talking. What was your thoughts on that?
When you see younger Fatu, it really shows like how much Jimmy and Jay look like him.
I know.
Like it's like when I was watching the WrestleMania 9 documentary, and I kept showing because he was in the head shrinkers, so he was even like a little younger there. I'm looking like my first thought was like, wow, they had Jey Uso back then. I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's fucking Rikishi.
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, you got two guys in Dustin Rhodes and Rikishi who, I mean, are kind of masters. Time will obviously tell later on down the road, but like they made this work for what it was. I mean, problem is nobody really gave a shit because it was all you got Piper on the phone. If Piper's talking, I'm immediately not paying attention to anything else around him.
Agree. Yeah, for sure.
Which, real quick, while we're on it, today would have been Roddy Piper's 71st birthday, but he died 10 years ago this year, which is still kind of shocking. Which also means Dusty's been gone for 10 years too.
So. Yeah, the Dusty one. I'm like, man, I felt like it was sooner than that, but it was not. But that's just crazy. Camp Cornette is out to accept the challenge for the 6-man tag at WrestleMania. Cornette insinuates that he pushed Mr. Fuji down the stairs to explain his disappearance. That's pretty funny. Yokozuna pops up on the video wall, and now he's just, a thug life Samoan after years of saying bonsai. That's quite the change.
He's Jacob Fatu Samoan. Pretty soon he's going to be Warm Henny in Newports.
If the baby faces win, Yoko gets 5 minutes with Cornette, which of course did not happen. Meanwhile, at MSG on the weekend, we got a Bret Hart Undertaker versus HBK and Diesel in a match that actually sold out the arena for a house show for the first time in almost a decade.
That's good shit.
Yeah, man. I would have loved to have seen that match live. Wow.
Real quick, I forgot just how great Jim Cornette was on the stick.
Dude, he was so good.
Because like that's like a nothing burger 6-man tag. Yeah. But he sold that like it was the main event of WrestleMania. Like he talked my interest into that match. I was like, all right, let me see where this fucking goes. Like,
yeah, he's so good, man. I mean, he was just, and you could tell none of it's written. He's just off the cuff. He really is.
I mean, that's what I like about like his like when he does the podcast. I mean, he's not scripted or anything as he's going it. He just shoots shit off top of his head and it rolls and it's eloquent and fluent and he doesn't stutter every third word like I do and shit like that. It's just like, I mean, yeah, his thoughts may be a little out of tune, but the guy knows the business probably better than anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, like, sure, Meltzer is like a wrestling encyclopedia, but the encyclopedia was written by Jim Cornette.
So we get Diesel versus Barry Horowitz next. Diesel throws up the click sign on the way to the ring. What does this mean? Just call 1-900-909-9900 to find out. Diesel.
Well done.
Thank you. Diesel beats on Horowitz as expected, but a casket gets wheeled down the ringside and Horowitz gets some shots on the distracted Diesel. Diesel casually puts him down with a big boot, gets two, then punches him in the head for the pin at 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Poor Barry Horowitz. He's not even deserving for the jackknife.
I know.
Just a prone punch to the face. It's like, yeah, it's enough.
Diesel opens a casket to find a creepy Diesel mannequin in there. But I'll tell you, man, if Nash had died young like many of his compadres, that would have been one of the most incredibly eerie segments in wrestling history. No.
Here's the best part about that. Because this show was taped, the close-ups of him in the casket are actually Kevin Nash. Like, wow. because it's taped, so it's cut, so they can edit that in. So when we're watching at home, we're none the wiser that this shit's been like edited. We just think, wow, that's a really good fucking mannequin in that. Like,
yep.
Great mind games by The Undertaker.
I will say, like, this was actually kind of wild for WWF at this time because this is done in pretty. I mean, when you look at the mannequin and basically being dead, it's like kind of in poor taste, especially when you're trying to be family friendly at this time. So this is, I think, Vince taking, maybe putting that toe across that line a little bit to see how far they could go. So kudos to him.
Taker has carte blanche. They can do whatever they want with him, and it's whatever. Let's us forget the 1994 Royal Rumble where like Taker was beaten and then ascended into fucking heaven. Let's I mean, we've had casket matches are already been a thing. We're making the big ones for Yokozuna and shit. So it's not too far out of our possibility, but you're right though. It's getting a little closer to the line.
Yeah.
And Taker's the guy you really got to do it with. Like, all right, let's see what's really like. What are people really going to go for?
Agreed. I totally agree with you.
And with Taker, the darker he was, the more hot he was.
Yes, agree with you totally. I loved when he would go that way. Main event time: Bret the Hitman Hart versus Tatanka. Bret makes a comeback later on in the match with his 5 moves of doom. But obviously, 1, 2, 3 Kid interferes, only to collide with Tatanka and allow Bret to get the roll up for the pin at 9 minutes. I mean, this was like every match must have a shitty finish night on like both channels. Nowadays, we just call that Monday night, but still, we get on both shows. It's like, does everything have to have a shitty finish? What's going on here?
I don't know what the $1 Million Corporation really had to do with this.
I don't get it.
Because none of those guys have a match at WrestleMania. Shit, Waltman doesn't have a match at WrestleMania until fucking 1999.
Yeah,
I looked up because I was curious. Let me go. Like, what's his WrestleMania record? He's 0-2. He's only done 2 WrestleManias. I think it was like 99 and 2000. So it's not even like he really did anything. Man. But it didn't make any sense at all for him to really be involved in like what I mean, yeah, like they're in the $1 Million Corporation, him and Tatanka and I guess the ringmaster, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Or Stone Cold at this point. My mistake. But it didn't really make much sense. And it's a shame because this was actually Tatanka's last match on Raw.
Yeah.
Because even when he comes back to the company later, he's on SmackDown. So
correct, right? Go over. Yeah, people forget, man, how after the Attitude Era, once SmackDown came into play, like Undertaker on Raw was like as rare is. Like it's crazy. All right, we end the show with another Billionaire Ted skit. The Federal Turner Commission sees the WWF in full court press whine mode here as Billionaire Ted defends himself against accusations of creating a monopoly in the television industry. All of this is even more ridiculous considering that Ted was forced out of the industry less than 5 years after this. So some omnipotent billionaire, right? And then they had the balls to ask the fans the right to the real FTC because of concerns over the Time Warner merger. Dude, just stop. Stop now.
It was at this point that USA had to step in and be like, listen, you guys went too far. You're going to get us in fucking trouble. Like,
I agree, man.
You need to stop these now. And they did. This is the last Billionaire Ted sketch we say.
It was. Yep. But this had to have been it. Yeah.
Yeah. This was it. I looked it up because I was like, how much longer is this going to keep going on? But this was the last one. And that was why, because this segment was too close to reality. And USA was like, no, you need to stop this now. Like we're going to get in a serious amount of trouble.
By the way, and I'm trying to look this up. I think this was Tatanka's last time on TV.
It was Tatanka's. It was Tatanka's last episode of Raw, and then even when he came back, he was on SmackDown.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's what fueled my thought about Undertaker.
Yeah. But it was his last Raw appearance.
Okay.
Well, Raw match. I mean,
Raw match. Yeah. Okay. So. That wraps up this episode. George, I have no idea how to vote on this. I'm going to guess Raw wins this one because I think the Cornette promo was great. I think the Undertaker and Diesel casket mannequin skit was good. And anytime you get to see Brett wrestle on TV is always good. Doesn't matter who that is. So I think as a joint effort, this is the worst week of the Monday Night Wars that I've seen from like literally both shows being god awful. But I think WWF gets the win here. What says you?
I don't think this was the worst that we've seen because that week where I didn't give a vote because I thought both shows were awful.
I remember that. You're right.
I think that's the worst one. Because even as bad as this was, at least the shit on Raw furthered the storylines for WrestleMania.
That's true.
I can say that. I mean, Uncensored is literally the very next event for Nitro, and I only know 2 matches. This Doomsday Cage match, which they have not even remotely explained what it is. And then like the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors, versus Sting and Booker T for some reason. I don't and Booty Man and DDP, but I don't know any other matches going on the card. There are other matches.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the fuck they are because they didn't build. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think this is an easy Raw win. Easy because this Hogan shit, it's the same promo every week from Hogan and Mach. It's the same promo every week from Flair and Arn and Taskmaster. It's like it's not generating any interest. At this point, people just want it to end. And adding Z Gangsta, who was Zeus, and Jeep Swenson, who Final Solution, Ultimate Solution, it didn't add anything because nobody to understand Zeus, you have to go back to what was it, like 1989. And like SummerSlam 89, like you have to have seen that. You had to have seen No Holds Barred, which at the box office nobody did. So like you have to understand this shit like that to even understand why they're even bringing this guy out, because they don't mention any of it during the promos.
No.
And then even like when the Ultimate Solution is there and Kevin Sullivan's just like, I looked for low lives and scuzzbag. It's like you are not explaining to me who any of these people are and what they have to do with with ending Hulkamania. If you're somebody who watched especially the younger kids, if you're like 7, 8, 10, like 96, you do not remember Fucking no holds barred. You're not gonna hear that shit unless you order that. Like, you're not gonna fucking know. Like, this is who is this for?
By the way, No Holds Barred actually made money.
I guess
an estimated $8 million budget. It made almost $16.5 million.
Sure, let's go with that.
That
sounds like a Vince McMahon snow job. That's like the 93,000 in WrestleMania 3. It was closer to 80. Like, this 16 million is probably closer to 2 million.
Apparently, McMahon, who financed the movie, more or less broke even because of distribution fees.
Sure, he did.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But yeah,
Vince will never admit his losses. So
no.
He still thinks the first go round of XFL was successful.
Oh God. So I agree with you. Actually, I think that Raw wins this week, but that wraps us up for this week, guys. Please, if you're a wrestling fan, don't be a hater. Don't be a critic for 48 hours. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend, man. This is the Super Bowl for wrestling fans.
Did you see that where Triple H was with the interview where he was telling people, like, I know, JD from New York, and I'm not using his name for clout, but I know he retweeted something along it, kind of bashing against it. And I think he may have just taken it a little bit the wrong direction, because wrestling, it's the only thing that when people watch it, they immediately critique it. You don't get that when you watch like a movie or like a TV show, but like when you do that, immediately it's just like, oh, this is shit. It's constant criticism across the board. And Triple H is right to a point. I mean, yeah, if it's bad, criticize it, absolutely. That's what we do. But we're also reviewing shit that's happening before. So we're not full critics, but essentially our job is to critique what we had seen. We just don't get paid for it. But but if you're just a casual fan, just turn your brain off and watch it. Just enjoy, as like The Rock said, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And
it's the same thing when I go see an MCU movie. I'm not going and looking saying, in the fucking comics, Wolverine was like 5'5". Like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm just enjoying it for what it is without being massively critical over it.
And we kind of have to also remember that AEW, WWE, even back then WCW or TNA, they're not writing shows for Chris and George.
No.
They're writing shows for every demographic out there all across the world.
Which is near kind of really like
it's
almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
Because even when you look at sitcoms only write to the demographic that they're going for.
Right.
They're going for that 18 to 36 male, or like this shit on CBS, like Blue Bloods and CSI, that goes to like a higher demographic, to like our parents' ages and shit like that. So but when you're doing wrestling, you got to appeal to the people who've been watching you from like the 70s and 80s till now, and you got to get with people who are just watching for the first time.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
It's a large scope.
I agree, man. All right. So thank you guys so very much for checking us out. We hope you really do enjoy WrestleMania weekend. I know we will. Have a great weekend. If you celebrate the holiday, have a great holiday. We'll be on here next week to review what happened at WrestleMania, and then obviously get into our next round here of the Monday Night Wars reviews. So George, thank you very much. That's George Rogers. I'm Chrissy Francesco, and this has been the Hot Tag Wrestling Show, and we'll catch you guys down the road. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.